One Pot Week continues with one of my favorites, skirt steak. I know you know that about me already. I love it. Today it's gonna be skirt steak with green beans, tomatoes, and white beans, like a warm bean salad. Super easy, dinner on the table in 20 minutes. I have 1.25 pounds of skirt steak. I like to cut my skirt steak into pieces for cooking because, as you can see, it's extremely long. But before I do that, I'm gonna trim a little bit of this fat. The sharper your knife, the easier it is to take the fat off without removing any of the steak. Then cut it into 4 pieces. Obviously, it's really long and it's hard to put into a pan this way, so I like to cut it crosswise into 4. Season it with salt and pepper. Salt is really important on steak. You don't even need the pepper sometimes, but why not? And then have your pan heating. You wanna make sure it's nice and hot before you put the steak in so it gets a really good sear. Okay, I wanna check my pan. It's preheating on high heat. I think it's ready. You add a little bit of oil. Okay, and then put your steak in the pan. And hear the sizzle. Put the fat side down. A little bit of that fat left on isn't so bad. And then cook these for about 3 to 5 minutes per side for medium rare, and don't touch them until they're ready to turn. Otherwise they won't brown properly. So I suggest go prep the rest of your ingredients. 3/4 pound of green beans. Cut them into pieces, 3/4 inch pieces, 1 inch pieces. I know this is the board that I cut my steak on before, and if I was making an uncooked salad, I would not be cutting my green beans on here. But because I'm cooking them, I'm not worried about it. They're gonna go into the pan and any germs, they'll be gone. Cooked away. They can go back in the bowl. All right, I think it's time to turn the steak. Then I'll come back and prep that garlic. I'm gonna turn them over. They're really nice and brown now, that's good. My leaving them alone paid off. And now I'm gonna slice up a couple cloves of garlic. So you wanna peel your garlic and then slice it. You'd probably wanna use a paring knife for this instead of this big, huge knife, but I like living life on the edge. And then very, very thinly slice. And then add that to your tomatoes. 8 ounces of cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. I'm ready to cook this stuff. Set these babies aside on there to rest. Pour off the fat, because this isn't good for cooking. You want fresh oil for this, so about a teaspoon or so of clean oil, 2 teaspoons. And then add the green beans and just cook them for a minute or 2. All right, so it's been about 2 minutes. I'm gonna add the garlic and the tomatoes at the same time. That way the garlic won't burn. And then just stir them around or shake them around. Keep the pan moving so nothing sticks to the bottom. Cook these for about 3 minutes, just till the tomatoes start to break down. And then add a can of white beans that have been drained and rinsed. And 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I'm gonna measure just so that it doesn't get too vinegary. That smells so good already. All right, now season it. Don't forget to season. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then you can turn it off. You don't want to overcook this. You just want everything warmed through. All right, let's platter it up, shall we? I'm gonna just do a nice big platter. Put the beans on the bottom. Slice up your steak and put it on top. Go across the grain, of course, for the most tender steak. This one got a little bit overcooked. I'm not gonna lie, I knew I should take that thinner one out first and I didn't. But the great thing about skirt steak is that even when it's slightly overcooked, it's still delicious and tender. I'm not saying overcook your steak, I'm just saying forgive yourself if it's a little bit, you know, medium well. And then I want these juices on here because they look delicious, so I'm just gonna pour all the juices right on top. Delish. And now for my favorite summer garnish, basil. Doing some fancy garnishing here with all the tiny little leaves, making it elegant. So fresh, so delicious, and ready in 20 minutes, start to finish. My kind of meal.